evening, Allens everywhere. This is Editorialan with Bedtime Curly Tales. And tonight I'm going to be reading Hogs Hate Hugs by Tiziana Bendall-Brunello, illustrated by Bendall-Brunello. That's quite a mouthful. I'm reading this one because it's about a hog, which is sort of a bit like a pig, but a little bit more wild. A bit like Sticky Piggy, really. So if you're sitting comfortably, then I'll begin. Little Hog was just a bit fed up. You see, he was always having to hug everyone, because he was the cutest, cuddliest little hog in the whole forest. When he got up, Mummy Hog always gave him a long morning hug. And if he ever hurt himself, Daddy Hog would hold Little Hog in a daddy-sized hug. Even when he went to see his friends, it was the same thing. There were big hugs with Bear and small hugs with Mouse, slow hugs with Turtle, and hopping quick hugs with Rabbit. But his little sister was the worst. She made him stand with his arms wide open, and she would rush at him as fast as her little legs would carry her, and oomph! Down they went. She always wanted to give Little Hog a running, flying hug. One day, after a prickly hug with Hedgehog and a heavy hug with Badger, Little Hog decided he'd had enough. "I hate hugs," said Little Hog. "Oh, but you're so huggable," said Owl, as she grabbed Little Hog with her wings and gave him a tickly hug. No, I'm not," shouted Little Hog. "Now leave me alone." "I'm too old for all this hugging," shouted Little Hog, and he sat down and made a poster. And he nailed it to the big tree right where everyone could see it. "Hogs hate hugs," it said in big letters, and it was signed Little Hog. And he stomped off into the forest. Not long after that, all the animals gathered around the tree to read the poster, and they were all shocked. Didn't Little Hog want to be hugged anymore? Did he really think that he was getting too old for hugging? "You can never be too old for a good hug," said Owl, and all the others agreed. Everyone went quiet, but just then Mouse had an idea. She whispered into Mummy Hog's ear, and before too long, Mummy Hog came back with something. By this time, it had started to get dark in the forest, and Little Hog was beginning to feel a bit lonely and a bit afraid. Then he heard a strange shuffling sound coming from just behind him. He spun around and got a horrible shock. It looked like a ghostly monster coming towards him. What could it be? Little Hog didn't wait to find out. He started to run and run. But then the monster tripped over. Little Hog turned around to look, and there were all his friends and his mummy. "Do you still hate hugs?" said Mummy Hog. "Or do you need just a little hug after all?" "I love hugs," said Little Hog, and he leaped into his mummy's arms. And forever after that, Little Hog didn't mind hugging anyone.